Welcome to a region that still runs wild. Eastern Hokkaido and the wild frontier. From south to north, eastern Hokkaido is filled with wildlife. From the Sea of Okhotsk to the Pacific coastline where KUSHIRO begins. In the northeast along the coast, the Okhotsk region is known for various types of agriculture. Field crops, dairy, and livestock farming are practiced. The Hokkaido coast is also known as the promised land of seafood. While exploring Abashiri Quasi-National Park, Shiretoko National Park, and KUSHIRO area, today you'll get a taste of the abundant wildlife and their natural surroundings. You'll experience firsthand the conservation efforts in place that have allowed bird life and life in general to flourish in this region. You'll also learn about sustainability from locals who call these beautiful places home, including the indigenous Ainu people. The Ainu believe that flora and fauna, tsunami, earthquakes, pandemics, and things of this nature in the Ainu homeland, called Ainu Moshiri, have a rammet, or a spirit. You'll also learn about the drift ice phenomenon along the Shiretoko Coast, and why there has been a recent decrease in it due to climate change. In the KUSHIRO area, you'll hear stories about the re-evolution of the crane and the protected wetland areas in which they are inhabitants. You'll also visit some of the largest caldera lakes in Japan. The area is abundant in water, from the landscapes to the unique products created from it. Get ready for an unforgettable journey along Hokkaido's east, from bottom to top and out to the far east in the wild frontier. We begin our journey in the KUSHIRO area. We know that endangered plants and animals can repopulate when given the chance. We can see this directly in Hokkaido with the red-crowned cranes. They had once dwindled down to a mere population of 10 seen to be left in existence. They were previously thought to be extinct. Through dedicated conservation efforts, Hokkaido is now home to half the world's population of the red-crowned crane, with over 1,500 living in East Hokkaido, centered on Japan's largest wetland, KUSHIRO SHITSUGEN National Park. They have also been designated as a special national monument of Japan. Throughout the 4 seasons, you can find a variety of animals that call this area home, like white-tailed eagle, the Izo red fox, and Yezo sika deer. The KUSHIRO area was once completely covered by the ocean, until 6,000 years ago. An abundance of water that is still present today not only boasts beautiful changing landscapes throughout the seasons, but also is the main reason wildlife can thrive in KUSHIRO. The KUSHIRO River connects the KUSHIRO wetlands with an abundance of nutrients from the water that flows through it. The KUSHIRO wetland is the largest wetland in Japan, with an area of 220 square kilometers. The wetland also helps between the ecosystems and atmosphere. The KUSHIRO wetland takes in about 45,200 tons of CO2 per year. In Japan, the crane is a symbol of longevity. The Ainu, particularly ones living in Hokkaido, even have a dance that depicts cranes playing in a wetland. The Ainu people were traditionally hunters, gatherers, and fishermen, so living off the land was essential to life.
たくさんの冬と夏、春と秋を生きてきました。森を歩き、川と湖を渡り、自然と共に暮らしてきました。アイヌは動物、植物、火、水、神羅万象にカムイが宿り、 それぞれが役割を持って姿を変えてこの世に存在していると信じています。アイヌの生活にはカムイの加護が必要です。生きる糧も穏やかな暮らしも稲うや供え物を捧げてカムイに祈ってきました。いろいろな場所で祭りごとや踊りを通してカムイに感謝を捧げ祈ってきました。私たちがカムイにすべきことをすれば、カムイは私たちの心と態度に報いてくれます。カムイの存在を近くに感じます。多くの人々にこの地を知ってもらいたいと思っています。冬に訪れ春に去っていくカバッチリカムイのように、我々を見守る山の頂に登って大地を潤す水に触れて、太古の森で神聖な樹木に耳を傾けてカムイと呼吸を合わせてほしいと思っています。アイヌの魂に触れてほしいと思っています。我々はこれからもこの北の大地アイヌモシリで生きていきます。
Ainu names are everywhere in the culture here. While we walk deep in the forest in an untamed landscape near Lake Mashu, we're walking to KAMINOKO Pond. The meaning of Lake Mashu is the God's Lake in Ainu words. They call it the Children of God's Pond because the source of the pond is subsoil water up from Lake Mashu. KAMINOKO Pond is the perfect place to feel at peace, to pause, to breathe slowly, and reconnect with yourself. The transparent waters reflecting the bright blue color create this enticing atmosphere you've stepped into. Moving over to Lake KUSHARO, this lake is another sacred place and perfect for canoeing. Lake KUSHARO is the largest of Japan's calderas. A caldera is an inward collapse of the mouth of the volcano after it erupts, some filling with water. Lake KUSHARO caldera reaches a depth of 125 meters. It's a peaceful place to paddle around. You can canoe, or for a different view, use hiking trails for a different perspective to take it all in. When canoeing, you can pull up to the volcanic shoreline for lunch. You're experiencing the steam from the volcanic hot springs that lie beneath, like we're doing now over lunch. We've boiled the eggs with the hot spring water to go with the rest of our local lunch at Oyakatsu Jigoku before heading to the north coast of this area. Before we move to explore the north coast, we're making a quick stop to check out a local wood carver, WAKOTO MIDORIYA. The shop owner, Kazuo Miyazaki, uses local trees in the nearby forest to carve the unique statues, and has been doing this as a profession for over 50 years. A great way to take home a local handcrafted souvenir. As we move to the north coast, we're following the route where drift ice can be seen in the winter season. You can really appreciate the lifestyle of the people living along the Sea of Okhotsk up close this way. You're reminded of the harsh winter conditions. In the summer season, while walking the pier, you can spot a variety of birds: ducks, gray herons, kingfishers, and cormorants. For wildlife photography, here are 4 tips. Number 1, let the birds come to you. Number 2, anticipate behavior. Number 3, arrive early and stay late. Number 4, fast shutter speeds. Welcome to Abashiri City, home of the Abashiri 5 lakes. They are Lake Abashiri, Lake Notoro, Lake Mokoto, Lake Tofutsu, and Lake Ryaushi. All of the lakes except Lake Ryaushi are brackish water lakes, a mix of fresh water and seawater. Lake Abashiri is used for canoeing and boating, and in the winter for smelt fishing. Lake Notoro is used for scallop farming. Lake Abashiri and Lake Mokoto are used for industrial salangide fishing and clam farming. And Lake Tofutsu is home to many treasured wild birds, which was recognized as a Ramsar convention in November 2005. Famously, Henry David Thoreau said, "Everyone must believe in something. I believe I'll go kayaking." And that's just what we will do. Kayaking here, you'll feel relaxed and at peace. Many waterfowl like whooper swans fly in this area, and the natural monument of the forest is home to one of Japan's leading gray heron nesting sites. Lake Abashiri is Hokkaido's best fishing spot for clams, smelt, and salangide. Let's get out of the water and head on to land for our next adventure. As we kayak along, our next stop is to play in the dirt. We're picking some local tomatoes at the OMAGARI Lakeside Park at the riverbank. Abashiri Prison cleared and cultivated this area to ensure the self-sufficiency of the faculty members and the prisoners. Here we are harvesting some local vegetables that we will use for today's lunch. Next, we enjoy a make-it-yourself meal of pizza. Time to take the tomatoes you've harvested and other fresh veggies along with locally produced flour and bake our original pizza. You're baking this in a handmade pizza oven at the riverside. After kayaking back, we're walking our way around Abashiri Quasi-National Park's Lake Tofutsu. The park has done an incredible job with preservation, providing a place for bird life to settle here. In early summer, flowers bloom and fill the area with beautiful colors. The park is located in the Okhotsk region, which is a region known for various types of agriculture, such as field crops, dairy farming, and livestock farming. The quite fertile land in these parts from the volcanic ash is full of extremely nutrient-rich soil called peat soil that feeds the local animals and crops that ultimately end up on the tables of locals and travelers alike. Through our journey, we can learn more about conservation, sustainability, and wildlife that call these parts home. We will experience changing environments by cycling from the mountains like Mount Tento to the coast and long scenic roads in between. But first, before cycling, we are at the lighthouse at Cape Notoro, a great place on the Cape to take in a sunrise or sunset. You can see the sweeping views over the cliffs, looking back on the Sea of Okhotsk, known as a miracle sea. From the lighthouse, you can see Lake Notoro and the coast to the west, the Sea of Okhotsk to the north, and the Shiretoko mountain range to the east. We'll start out cycling and climbing to the top of Mount Tento, a nationally designed place of scenic beauty. From the top, you can see everything from the Sea of Okhotsk and the Shiretoko Peninsula to Lake Notoro, Lake Tofutsu, and Lake Abashiri, which means as comfortable as heaven. And as we continue on our cycling journey, we reach the actual road to heaven. People from around the globe now come here to experience cycling the road to heaven. The road is 28 kilometers in total and a wondrous ride, gaining its name from the way it looks like it could just stretch right up to the heavens. There are many small farms along the route. We're stopping to refuel at a local berry farm where we will pick our own blueberry and Rosaceae aronia berries. There's also a cafe that offers fresh juices and sweets made from their own berries on the spot. Originally, agriculture in this area took advantage of the huge land and developed land use agriculture centered on large-scale specialized upland farming and dairy farming. This played an important role as one of the leading food production and supply bases in Japan. However, in recent years, the sale of locally produced agriculture and livestock products in town has been on the rise, and there is more demand for these types of places. This gives small businesses a chance to create income to sustain the local economy while exciting travelers along their cycling journey. Cycling this area, you can be at ease on the bike as you breeze past farm fields and also other icons of the area in the distance, like Mount Tento, which we just climbed. There are many places to stop off and visit shrines, religious institutes for the Shinto religion in Japan, and are popular among visitors as there are many scattered throughout the country. Each serves a unique purpose. We're stopping at the RAIUN shrine now. The RAIUN shrine, in particular, is said to bring good luck into your life. Before we continue on our journey, we'll fill up our water bottles with fresh natural spring water flowing straight down from Mount Shuri. Next, we're headed out to the ends of the earth known as the Far East, the Shiretoko Peninsula, and one of the off-the-beaten-path areas of Hokkaido, known for its 5 lakes, stellar sunsets, and the one-of-a-kind drift ice phenomenon.
まず知床五湖案内ということなんですけれども、その前にこちら知床世界自然遺産というところの地域で、平成17年にですね、国内で3番目に世界自然遺産として登録された場所になります。でまたこの知床五湖については春から5月から7月の末まではヒグマ活動期と、で8月の1日から植生保護期という時期に分かれておりますが、まずそれに至る経緯簡単なんですけれども、まず過去に自由に入れてた時期にヒグマによる圧力など等もありまして、平成23年にですね、利用調整区域という制度を用いてガイド限定により、散策ができるという制度を導入されております。で、先ほども申したヒグマ活動期には、ガイドツアーさんが同行という限定で散策できて、8月の1日から植生保護期ということで、10分程度のレクチャーを受けていただいた方は自由に散策することができるような制度になっております。で、こちらについては知床世界自然遺産ということで、生態系だとか生物多様性に優れた地域ということでですね、シマフクロウですとかオオワシ、オジロワシなんかが越冬する地域として、種の保存に不可欠な地域となっております。簡単ですけれど。
The drift ice originates in Russia, and here in the Okhotsk Sea is the southernmost place in the northern hemisphere where you can see it with your own 2 eyes. Every winter, you'll see the strong currents pulling drift ice. When it moves in, it can change the landscape overnight. It's an integral part for providing nutrients to food sources, specifically fishing, in the region.
今ご覧いただいている知床半島の西海岸のこれ特徴的な景観なんですが、切り立った断崖絶壁がもうオホーツク海から壁の上にそそり立っている、そういった地形なんですね。でこれは冬の流氷が長い期間かけて削り出して海面の低下で現れた地形なんですけれども、結果的にこれが人の上陸を阻んだような、そんな部分があります。
It plays an ever important role in the region's food chain, carrying phytoplankton called ice algae.
流氷はこれも日本の国内では一番ここは量が多く勢力が強い場所になるんですが、この流氷にはユーラシア大陸の広大な湿地や森の栄養が含まれて流れ着いているので、春に溶けるとですね、非常に豊かな海を作り出す源になってるんですが、そこで育った鮭やマスが海の栄養を蓄えて、秋にこの半島の中央部を連なる山を源に流れる約90本近い川にですね帰ってくることによって、海の栄養を森に運ぶつなぎ役になっているんですね。でそれをヒグマですとかシマフクロウといったような生き物たちが食べて、残飯や糞を森にばらまいてくれることで、また森の木々の栄養分になるといったそういった流氷が起点となった海と森のつながりが知床には存在していて、これが知床特有の生態系ということで、2005年の7月に世界自然遺産に登録された大きなポイントの一つにもなっています。
And so goes the cycle of life. Time to get a taste of the region. From the drift ice, we are blessed with nutrient-rich kelp. We're at a local restaurant in Shibetsu Town, Kyoto Yori Takeda's, where you'll learn how broth is made from Raosu kelp and also taste the Shibetsu salmon.
内容ですよね。はい。これはラオス産の昆布、ラオス昆布とそれからカツだしです。カツオを合わせて取ったものですね。それはあらかじめ作り置きしておきまして、1日に1回朝のうちに取って1日使いますね。はい。そうですね。白鮭は北海道どこでも取れるんですけれども、山漬けというのは昔から鮭の貯蔵方法としてね知られている冷凍技術のない時から秋の鮭を一年中使うのに塩漬けをして長持ちさせるという作り方で、山漬けという鮭はブランドになっておりますね。でその山漬けという作り方は一番おいしい時期に取れる鮭を使いますけど、油の乗り始めた頃ですね。だからだいたい9月から始まりますけど、9月の末から10月ぐらいの一番油の乗っている銀鮭というかね、そういうものを使って塩漬けをしてずっと積み重ねていくんですね。でその重みで水分を一回しっかり抜いて、さらに手返しをしてまた塩をまた取り替えてというのを1ヶ月ぐらいかけて作って、がっちりとその水分を抜いたものをさらに今度改めて塩抜きをして、ちょうどいい塩加減になった時に風乾をして、風でね、
いろんな工程が
そうですね、長い工程。
It wouldn't be an adventure here without a wildlife cruise on a local fishing boat. We're on the Raosu side coast of Shiretoko Peninsula. No matter what time of year, you can spot wildlife out to sea. In the water, marine life, sperm whales, and dolphins. Above the water and on the ice, soaring eagles. Brown bears are important creatures that make up the rich nature of Shiretoko and are an iconic symbol of Shiretoko. With human care, locals can continue to coexist with the brown bears as they enjoy their habitat. It's time to head back to KUSHIRO where we began. We'll end our journey with a few tastes of the local region that all involve the special and clean water of this region to make them so special. From soba to sake. The quality of water is extremely important when making soba noodles, and one of the best places to try them is in KUSHIRO City. This place has been an icon to try soba for years, and here they do things a little differently. The soba noodles here are green, not the traditional white color. This is because they use fresh buckwheat flour and chlorella, which is what makes them green. Chlorella is high in antioxidants as well as iron and vitamin C. Soba noodles are Japanese traditional food, and KUSHIRO is the perfect place to try these because of the soft water. After trying soba, we're heading to try a unique way of cooking in KUSHIRO City Port area. Robata Yaki. Robata is the way of grill and eat mainly the seafood. KUSHIRO is known for robata as KUSHIRO is one of the best landing fishing ports in Japan. Before leaving, our meals wouldn't be complete without a sip of sake. Here is the 100-year-old sake brewery, FUKUTSUKASA. The raw material rice is mainly Hokkaido rice, and the water used is underground water filtered from the wilderness of eastern Hokkaido. Everything we touch here in KUSHIRO, from the food to the wildlife thriving, is connected to the water. The future of these destinations throughout eastern Hokkaido, along both coasts, lies in the continued conservation efforts. Although the future of the drift ice, as it brings its nutrients to feed the life cycles, seems to be uncertain, locals are doing what they can. Preservation and local sustainable practices from fishing to protecting wildlife remain in place and allow this area to continue to thrive in both nature and tourism as one of the untouched places of the world. A balanced ecosystem means one with an abundant food source, one that feeds both the locals and the wildlife. And in turn, Hokkaido will remain a place where adventure travelers, nature lovers, and wildlife enthusiasts can continue to explore its boundless beauty from coast to coast and to the ends of the earth.